Hello everyone, welcome back. Today's video, we are talking about nutrients for healthy skin. At the end of the day, your skin is like a magic mirror, right? What's going on the inside will show up on the outside. And we've definitely talked about this in acne in the past, right? We've talked about how dairy can play a role in acne and how different nutrients can play a role in acne. But we see this in all kinds of skin conditions, right? So we see it in psoriasis, we see it in eczema, we see it in acne, and we see it in aging skin. So today we're going to talk about more in the aging realm of things. What can you be taking internally to help your skin age better long term? First of all, before we get started, if you love our content, can you go ahead and hit the like button for us? It really helps us just to get our content out to more people like you and just help more women, which is really the goal. So let's dive in. The number one thing we want to think about when it comes to aging skin is protein and amino acids. When it comes to healthy skin, right, you have to have the building blocks to be able to build that collagen. And what that looks like is lysine, glycine, and proline, right? In the past, I've talked about collagen, and you can watch that in our videos. And one of the reasons why I like collagen is because it has these specific building blocks in it, right? When we take collagen, you're not gonna take it and it's just gonna magically go to your skin and cure everything. But it means that you have enough of the nutrients that we need in order to make healthy collagen. If we're thinking about food sources, for lysine, we're thinking about meat and poultry. For glycine, we are thinking about bone broth. And then for proline, we're thinking about eggs and dairy. And so those are things that we might want to add to our diet in order to get enough amino acids so we can actually build healthy skin. So that is the first and number one thing that I think of. When it comes to hair loss, when it comes to healthy skin, this is something that I talk to my patients a lot because I will say that the majority of women are not eating nearly enough protein in their diet. So that's an easy place to start. The next nutrient that you hear of a lot for healthy skin would be vitamin A. Vitamin A is a really, really great nutrient for the skin, but it comes with a big, giant disclaimer. And that big, giant disclaimer is that if you are a female of childbearing years, vitamin A is really, really not a good choice. It can be a teratogen, meaning that it can cause birth defects if we take it in too high of dosing. And sometimes what happens is people watch videos or they get on different sites and they end up adding things in that might not be safe for them. But let's say vitamin A is safe in your specific situation. What is it good for? Vitamin A helps with skin cell turnover. It is an antioxidant in the skin. It helps to protect the skin against UV damage. It helps the follicles and the sebum glands to work better. So it's really, really, really helpful in acne. And what's important to think about is that oftentimes when we have red, itchy, bumpy skin, that can be related to vitamin A deficiencies. And so vitamin A is a really, really great skin nutrient. And one of the things that we want to think about if we have any chronic skin conditions. The next nutrient we hear about a lot in acne is zinc. But zinc is also really important for anti-aging. So zinc is one of the nutrients that we think of when we think about skin healing, right? So it's really, really important if the skin is damaged to have enough zinc to be able to heal that appropriately. So if we fast forward to aesthetics procedures where we're creating controlled damage, right, having enough zinc is important. And there is actually some evidence that might show that zinc is a UV protector as well, right? So the number one thing that happens as we age is that we get UV damage to our skin, which causes aging over time. So a lot of the nutrients I'm going to mention are UV protecting, which is really, really important. Selenium. So selenium is another one that we think of. And when we think about selenium, it does, again, protect against UV damage. And there is evidence that selenium deficiency can be a contributor to patients who have a lot of skin cancers. So that is definitely a consideration when we think about nutrients. In terms of selenium, Brazil nuts are a great source of selenium. 4 Brazil nuts in a day will give you a therapeutic dose of selenium. So the big giant nuts in the nut container that everybody tosses in the garbage, they're great sources of selenium. Vitamin C. So most people know vitamin C, right? Because when we have severe vitamin C deficiency, we end up with scurvy. And one of the things that happens with scurvy is that our tissues will kind of degrade and become not normal. And so that is because vitamin C is necessary for collagen production. And if you don't have enough vitamin C, you will break down your collagen. So if we're fast forwarding to talk about anti-aging treatments, right, not scurvy, vitamin C is really, really, really important. The other thing with vitamin C is that vitamin C is a potent antioxidant. So again, there's some research that it might help against that UV damage in the skin. We know that we use vitamin C topically, right? I've talked about it in past videos and how important it is to pick a good vitamin C, because that's really, really important. But orally, if we don't have enough vitamin C, we will not make good collagen. So if I was thinking about collagen production, the things that I would really, really think about would be having enough protein, specifically the amino acids I mentioned earlier, and then having enough vitamin C. Omega-3 fish oils. So omega-3s are really anti-inflammatory, and they are very important for helping keep the skin moisturized. When it comes to inflammatory skin conditions, so again, we're thinking psoriasis, eczema, general redness of the skin, omegas is a really good add at first. The key with omegas is making sure that you're getting a good quality, making sure that they are not adulterated by things like heat, and making sure that we're picking a pretty potent brand, right? A lot of the omegas out there, for example, like the Costco brand, you have to take a lot of capsules, like 6 capsules a day to get your recommended daily intake for actually having any sort of benefit. So there are great brands that are a little bit more potent that can be really, really helpful. Like Nordic Naturals is one of my favorites because they have really good, easy to take products, but they're stronger capsules, so you just have to take like 2 or 3 instead of 6, which is helpful. Carotenoids. So carotenoids are a family of antioxidants, and when we think about this, we're thinking about things like beta-carotene, lutein, and lycopene, and these are found in colorful vegetables, right? So like beta-carotene is found in our orange vegetables, lycopene is found in things like tomatoes, and these are really, really important. So if we are not a candidate for vitamin A, which is a lot of people, right, then beta-carotene can be a really, really good choice, because beta-carotene can be converted into vitamin A if the body chooses to do that and if it needs it. Beta-carotene, lycopene, and lutein are all going to be antioxidants in the skin as well. And there is some evidence, if we think about the orange foods like carrots and stuff like that, there is some evidence that that will actually change the tinge of your skin a little bit. So if you're out in the sun and you're consuming a lot of beta-carotene, that can actually be really, really, really sun protective on the skin. So again, protecting against that UV damage, which was really our main concern, what we want to do if we want our skin to not age dramatically. The other thing to think about that is that if our skin has kind of that orangey color, not like a super orangey color, but a little bit, it's associated with having kind of a glow and having a healthier overall appearance. So studies have shown that having beta carotene in the diet, patients find that their skin just looks healthier and has a better glow overall. So that might just be a good nutrient for the overall way that you feel about your skin as well. The next one we're going to talk about is soy isoflavones. So there was a small study done in postmenopausal women where they had women eat soy for 8 to 10 weeks. And what they found was that with the addition of soy isoflavones specifically, they saw a decrease in fine lines, an increase in skin elasticity, and an overall increase in the score that women would have given their skin, so how they felt about their skin. And 8 to 10 weeks is really not that long. When it comes to soy, right, picking the right products really, 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 really matters. A lot of soy is GMO, so organic is important. And soy isoflavones, in order to get the amount of soy isoflavones that you're looking for, you would really be looking for soy isoflavones, not just increasing soy in your diet. Cacao. So there's an interesting study on cacao antioxidants where, again, they had patients take cacao antioxidants for about 6 to 12 weeks. And what they found was that patients reported that their skin was thicker and firmer and that they overall had an increase in satisfaction with their skin. So cacao, especially if we're choosing things like dark chocolate, which has a lot of benefits, can benefit your skin as well, which a lot of people aren't thinking about. The last nutrient I'm going to talk about is the nutrient that gives shrimp its pink color, and that is called astaxanthin. Astaxanthin is again considered a carotenoid, and again it has the same thing that we've been talking about for this whole video, which is really the protection for against UV damage. What's interesting about astaxanthin is that there are some research studies on astaxanthin if you're taking it as a supplement before going out into the sun, and what they find is that it can be sun protective. So again, limiting the amount of burns found in patients who are taking it if they're out in the sun. In order to get enough astaxanthin to actually be able to communicate this benefit, right? Shrimp is great, but it's probably not going to communicate the benefit. So supplementing astaxanthin is really where the research lies on this, but it is really good at preventing burning. And again, that UV damage, which we've been talking about this whole time. So I wanted to share with you some of the nutrients that can be helpful for your skin, and some of the more obscure ones like cacao and soy isoflavones and astaxanthin that you may not have heard of that can be just really helpful for your skin long term. Put in the comment section below if there were any of these nutrients that you didn't know was helpful for the skin, and we'll see you soon for our next video.